After Miami, Tom and I were sitting around and we were working on a novel called Visions of Hitler. And the basic idea was that Adolf Hitler was a supervillain whose vast deeds were so horrifying that the world is still fascinated. Indeed, a glance back to the Nazi era is often required to gauge the present. Today, the Hitler mystique is being re-examined. This book is a surreal fantasy in the best tradition of black humor, creating a bizarre juxtaposition of history's evilest monster, grown older and wiser with today's pop counterculture. He emerges from his hiding place in the deep in the Amazon jungles and starts wandering around the counterculture. The Woodstock sort of meets the hippie culture and actually makes up for all his misdeeds by working with the hippies to do something interesting, and I can't remember what it was, but one of these days I'll publish this. One day we read in the New York Times about a boat that was leaving to cruise down the coast to Cape Canaveral to watch the last Apollo moon launch. And on board were a lot of celebrities, a lot of NASA scientists, top science fiction writers, and a lot of press freeloading. So Tom had this idea that it was some kind of secret plot. Rich people were conspiring to leave this Earth behind that they had ruined and colonize the moon and the other planets. And this was actually a secret seminar. It was a cover for this. And we're sitting around smoking dope and getting all upset about it. And he says, you know, fuck it, we're the underground press. We should be on there. We should be represented. And I said, fuck yes. So, you know, we found out what dock it was at. We got, I think, Gabrielle, my girlfriend. Oh, he was with Cindy at the time. Cindy was wearing her trademark Girl Scout brownie outfit. And we had a whole bunch of friends. We had a going away party on the boat. We had an ounce of dope with us, and we stole the keys to a splendid stateroom right on the top, right next to the captain. And then we said goodbye to our friends, and away went the boat. We watched the New York Harbor retreat, and suddenly we looked at each other and said, holy fuck, we're stowing away on a ship. This is a felony. Well, it wasn't the first felony either of us committed. But on board were people like Norman Mailer, Hugh Downs, Catherine Ann Porter, you know, Ship of Fools, Robert Heinlein, a whole gaggle of celebrities, and basically an empty boat except for these few people. So Tom and I were stowaways on the Voyage beyond Apollo. We had a hell of a good time. We became friends with Norman and actually smoked some dope with him and Hugh Downs, watching, you know, one of the first and only night launches of an Apollo moonshot off the Cape. And here it says in the Times, there were 2 models and 15 fashion editors who were also guests. And there were also 2 uncounted freeloaders or stowaways. These were Tom Forcade, the leader of the Zippies, spelling his name wrong, and Rex Weiner, the editor of the New York Ace, an underground publication. The 2 young men who said they thought they deserved a vacation after the rigors of fomenting demonstrations at the political conventions in Miami Beach set themselves up in a comfortable cabin where which they vacated early each morning after making the berths and tidying up. They spent their days sunning themselves, accepting drinks from the many passengers who were in on their secret, and hinting broadly that they had some really spectacular deviltry up their sleeves. Quote, "We were thinking about opening the Seacocks," said Mr. Forcade. "And then we realized that we didn't have any seats in the lifeboats." End quote. Still undiscovered and deciding not to push their luck, we departed in St. Thomas, and my editor at Penthouse actually flew us back. But we had to hitchhike from the Virgin Islands to Puerto Rico, where the ticket was waiting at the San Juan airport, because I was writing also for Penthouse at the time. What I didn't know about Tom was that he was a serious fucking manic depressive. And so we'd gotten on the boat, we smoked our dope, that was nice, but he was on medication at the time, and he didn't bring his pills. But he did bring other pills. He had a pocket full of pills, ups, downs, and everything. What happened was, somewhere after the launch, there were a couple of days when this story came out and they chased us around the boat. We had to hide, you know. They never caught us. He sank into the worst depression I'd ever seen. He was almost comatose. I had to drag him around the ship and stuff him in rope lockers and things to like keep him from being discovered. And meanwhile, the crew was running around looking for us because the story had come out in the Times. I had to roll him practically down the gangplank to get him off the ship in St. Thomas, and then I stashed him away at the University of the Virgin Islands while I went and found a plane to get us. He was practically comatose, and he was going to throw himself off the ship at some point. I really got to witness someone in the depths of manic depression on the low side. Well, what a pain in the ass, and it was kind of a foreshadowing of what was to come. After that, sort of distanced myself from Tom because his ups were fun, but his downs were really devastating for a close friend.